Hi, everybody. Good afternoon. Joyce LaTulipe. I am a Synergy Innovation Coach leader, and I work with Terrell Bailey, co-innovation leader. Synergy is a wonderful community to be a part of, but we're really unique, and our roles are unique as well. And when they asked us over 2.5 years ago, just a little over that, to be innovation coach leaders, we thought, well, what is that? What does it mean to be like, well, first of all, why were we selected? But then, what is that? What are we really going to do? And our roles, Terrell and I, have really been to help with the community in developing a community of practice around scaling and innovation and understanding that process, and then really understanding and interpreting and implementing the concepts, processes, and tools that our thought leaders and others, researchers, and even folks at centers and other stakeholders have introduced over 2.5 years. So it's been a long process, not an easy process, not a linear process. Mm-hmm. And as a community, we have naturally developed our own language of expression and our own insights, and we've learned from each other. The benefit of this community really has been in the learning. So that's been a really wonderful thing, as my participation and co-leadership in this endeavor has given me is a wonderful, rich opportunity to learn from each of our centers and all the new people who come into the Synergy community. So this afternoon, we really wanted to take some time to lead a little activity that will introduce some of the new people to the specific community that is Synergy. Not to overwhelm you with a list of concepts, processes, and tools that we've used, but to invite you to informally meet with each of our centers and talk to them about their experience with the Synergy process. Okay? Do you want to add anything? Or
I just want to add my welcome. So, this is an open community, not a closed community. And so for those of you that are here for the first time, I know I speak for everyone who's been here before. We're really glad you're here. We want to get to know you. We want you to get to know us. And so that's really the purpose of this whole conversation that's about to take place.
Thanks. And just so you know, I asked Terrell very last second to come up here. But yes, as a community of practice, our participants have been exploring what we call the CPTs, so that's part of our lingo. You'll see that, and that's in your binder on the last page near the internet login, the wireless login. You'll see some of the CPTs that we've been interpreting, understanding, and implementing at each of the centers to achieve scale and understand the scaling process. Okay, and we have matured over some time, and one thing about our community of practice is that we really are identified in our shared vision, our commitment to innovation and scaling and understanding that process intimately with our adopters and adapters, and then taking that out to the network of others who care about that, and the network of others who support that, and the network of others who want to know about that. So it's been a long journey, but we are united in this shared vision, and we are continually capturing and reflecting on our knowledge and trying to always improve on this process as we understand it. So it's been a journey. Okay. And we have matured as a group, for sure. I think we have definitely reached, in this chart, we've coalesced. We now are actively telling our stories, and we're redefining those as we go as a community. And we will continue to do so beyond this conference. So we're going to introduce you to a little activity, which will take about the next, 40 minutes? About 40 minutes. And it'll involve some movement in the room. So what we'd like to do is, you may notice that on the tables, while Deborah was speaking, there's some cards that indicate the names of the centers, Geotech, Skate, and so forth. And we'd like the representatives, and I think most people are sitting right at the tables with... Pretty much, yeah. With the, yeah. So we'd like basically to take some time, about 40 minutes, to really do a meet and greet session And what we'd like to do is have the new folks visit 2 tables, if you like, to talk to the centers about their experiences with the Synergy process. And so this will be a stand-up, and in about 20 minutes, we will make a signal and say, okay, if you'd like to, we invite you to have the opportunity to move to a new table. So our centers, the innovation coaches, and the PIs, and the other team members will remain at their table with their card, and then the new folks will come in and talk to the centers.
And if you've been to a prior Synergy event, but maybe only one, if you can choose. You can either choose to stay, and what we're going to be doing is having a discussion around what value have you created, what have you used, what tools have you used, what has Synergy been to you. So if you've been here before and you're not a PI or an innovation coach, you can choose. You can either move around and learn more from others, or you can stay with your table and discuss from that perspective.
Cool. Great. Yeah. Great. And we just gave you maybe some questions to kind of frame the discussion, if you like. And you don't have to stick to the script by any means, but maybe when you get to the tables, some of the new folks, brief introduction, and some of these questions might be interesting for you to ask and for the centers to answer. So how would our centers describe the Synergy research and transformation process, and how has your concept of scale changed with each of the centers? For me, that concept went from a textbook definition to a very sophisticated process of working with adopters and adapters to implement something that I thought was one thing that completely transformed. What specific value did the centers or projects create through the use of the Synergy concepts, processes, and tools? And an example of that might be at a center, a realized value of shift and influence might be a new approach to communication and working with adopters or adapters in a more flexible manner. That certainly is something we learned from last January as an insight from our data collection efforts about how the process has been going.
So the focus here is on the Synergy, the overall Synergy process over this last 2.5 years, and how your center received it and used it. So it's really about the overall Synergy process. You'll each have an opportunity during the conference to talk about your particular innovation, and there may be some overlap there, but the focus here is on the overall Synergy process and how you experienced it and used it.